As you may know, this summer at FloWrestling, we're trying to decide who was the top wrestler at all 10 NCAA weight classes over the last 25 years. This week, we're breaking down 133 pounds. But before we do that, let me tell you how we decided who's going to be the top wrestler at each weight. First, our FloWrestling staff looked at all of the NCAA champs over the last 25 years. Then we ranked our votes individually. We tallied up those votes. We sent them to you guys, the fans. And you voted on social media. We weighed your votes heavily, put those in with the FloWrestling staff votes. That's how we ended up with the top wrestler at each of the 10 weight classes. This week, it's the 133-pounders. We're gonna dive deep into these at 133. Let's go to the studio and break it down. 133 pounds was so tough to rank. Before we get into the top four, we gotta talk about a few guys who were receiving votes that really could have been in the top four. And at the top of the list is Iowa's Eric Juergens. Now, I've got a little bit of a personal connection with Juergens. When I went to Iowa Intensive Camp in 1999, Juergens was the counselor for my group of campers. Really looked up to him. Super awesome. This guy was a two-time NCAA champ. And you remember last week, Stephen Abbas, he was the second vote receiver, 125 pounds. Juergens beat him not once, but twice in Abbas's true freshman year. This guy was legit, unreal, four-time All-American, a two-time NCAA champ. Could have been in the top four, but he didn't make the list because this weight was so deep. The next guy on the list is a guy that actually lost to Juergens in the NCAA finals. He was another two-time NCAA champ, Johnny Thompson, or as my former classmate used to refer to him, Johnny Thompson, #1. Shout out Steven Stonebreaker. Johnny Thompson from Oklahoma State won more NCAA titles than he did high school state championships. This guy really made himself into one of the top college wrestlers of the last quarter century, but he didn't make the cut at 133 pounds. Another guy that could have been in the top four list, a two-time NCAA champ, Matt Valenti. Now the head coach at Penn. He got it done twice at NCAAs. He also had a fifth place finish. Unreal career. Matt Valenti should have been, could have been on this list, but man, it's so deep. Another guy that could have been on this list, and in fact, our own Tyler Meisinger, outraged that he wasn't on the list, the only Hodge Trophy winner at 133 pounds, Jason Ness. Man, Jason Ness won an NCAA title over Dan Dennis in the most dramatic way possible. It was actually the first NCAA tournament that I got to attend in person. Unreal comeback. Hard to believe that Jason Ness pulled it off. That was an undefeated season for him. That guy had 4 All-American finishes, was right at the top of the weight class all of his years in college. Jason Ness was this close to making the list. He was actually the one right out of the top 4 votes. I voted for him. I thought Ness should have been in the top 4. He didn't make it. But man, Jason Ness, what a career for the Gophers. 2 other guys that could have been on this list that were actually this close to being on the 125 list as well. Travis Lee and Nick Suriano. Both of them won titles at both 125 and 133. 2-time champs. So good. Didn't quite make the cut in either weight class, but got to mention them because, man, what incredible careers Suriano and Lee had. The last guy that really could have been in the top 4 but didn't quite make it was Corey Clark, a 3-time NCAA finalist. He got it done. He won the title over Seth Gross in his final attempt. And then he threw Terry Brands. He did a little lat drop on Terry Brands on the NCAA stage. Corey Clark, incredible career for the Hawkeyes. That guy could have been on this list. Just was, this close. All right, so our 4 finalists at 133 pounds. We're going to start in chronological order. The first one on the list, Jordan Oliver of Oklahoma State. This guy ended his career for the Cowboys as the all-time pins leader at Oklahoma State. He had 54 falls over the course of his 4 years. This guy was in a 1-0 tiebreaker match with Jason Ness in his freshman year. That's the guy that went on to win. The title was a Hodge Trophy winner. Oliver was this close. Then he won a title at 133 pounds in his sophomore year. His junior year, he wrestled Logan Stieber in the finals. He was in on what could have been the match-winning takedown, but ultimately wasn't. Fell in a razor-thin decision there, even though he had beaten Stieber 7-1 earlier in the season. And then his senior year, Oliver moved up to 149 pounds, ultra dominant, 37-0, 31 bonus point victories. Jordan Oliver also, in those 2 title years he had, was second in Hodge Trophy voting in 2011 and 2013. He was so dominant, a bonus point machine, this close to being a Hodge Trophy winner and a 2-time champ. Very, very deserving to be in this list. Our next quarter-century finalist at 133 pounds, no surprise, it's Logan Stieber. He was a 4-time NCAA champ. Not a lot of those guys walking around on the planet. The only real question for Stieber was, will we rank him at 133 or 141? Because remember, we can only vote for these guys at one weight class. Ultimately, we decided 133 pounds is where Logan Stieber belonged. 4-time champ. He had 50 pins during his college career, and it really, just an unbelievable career. He only had 3 losses in his entire college career. Think about that. 4 years as a varsity wrestler, 3 losses. He also had 7 wins over either returning or eventual NCAA champions. Those are hard to come by. Logan Stieber racked them up. He was unreal, just a stalwart at 133 and 141 for Ohio State, and really set the standard for the Buckeyes. During Logan Stieber's NCAA tournament runs, he had 20 matches, right? He gets 5 each year. Those 20 matches, 14 bonus point victories. Of those matches, 7 pins, 5 techs. I mean, that is dominance at its finest. Logan Stieber, unreal case to be the top 133 pounder over the last 25 years. Coming next, in terms of NCAA tournament performances, Roman Bravo Young, RBY. He actually was the only guy that on this list that competed at 133 all 4, and actually for him it was 5 years. He was a 133 pounder all the way through, start to finish. Started his career finishing 8th in a weight class that had collectively 13 NCAA finals appearances in that weight class. So 8th place as a true freshman, not too bad when you consider the weight class, super, super deep. Roman Bravo Young got better from there. He won 2 titles, beat Dayton Fix. I mean, just unreal performance. Roman Bravo Young had such a dominant stretch of time during those title seasons and after. He had a 56 match winning streak. Nobody was touching this guy when he was at his best. Roman Bravo Young, unreal speed, really good on the mat. He just got it done and was a winner at the highest level. Our 4th finalist at 133 pounds, it's Vito Arujau, 2-time NCAA champ for Cornell. His 2023 NCAA title run may be the most impressive title run that anybody had in any weight class over the last 25 years. Vito Arujau entered the 2023 NCAA championships as a really big underdog. He had lost to Sam Latona earlier that season, but he went into that tournament and knocked off the 2 guys that everybody had penciled into the finals. Everybody knew it was going to be Dayton Fix. It was going to be RBY. That was the finals the year before. Remember, that match was razor thin. RBY beat Dayton Fix, and it was a riding decision. It was just like, who can score on these guys? They're both impossible to score on. Guess what? Not only did Vito beat both Dayton Fix and RBY, he put up 21 points against those 2 guys. That's unbelievable. Nobody does that. Vito did it. So much power and speed. And guess what? Between his NCAA title years, between his NCAA titles in 23 and 24, what did he do? Did he go on summer vacation? No. He went to the World Championships and he won it. He was a world champ in college between his 2 NCAA title seasons. His 2024 season was tough. He had battled injuries. He lost to Crookham twice. And then guess what? He went to the finals. He got it done. Vito Arujau, just a winner, overcoming those obstacles. I mean, remember that? He pointed at the mat. He was wrestling Crookham and he said, come here. And then he beat him. Unbelievable for Vito Arujau to pull not only that victory out of his hat against Crookham, but then to go on and beat Dayton Fix. I mean, Vito Arujau, just an incredible competitor. He got it done at a really high level. That's why he belongs on this list. All right, so what happened with the votes? How did they shake out? Who's the top 4? Well, here's what happened. Coming in the 4th place position, it was Roman Bravo Young. I mean, really, ultimately, you think about it, I mean, this could have come down to the 2023 NCAA championships. If Roman wins that, he's way higher on this list. But ultra competitor, I mean, this guy was at the weight for 5 years. RBY, one of the best of the quarter century. Hats off to Roman. The 2nd and 3rd place votes went back and forth. As our staff votes were coming in, we had 2 guys that were jockeying for position at 2nd and 3rd. And as the fan vote came in, that ultimately decided who was 2nd and who was 3rd at this weight class. Maybe a little bit of recency bias here, but it's Vito Arujau over Jordan Oliver. So Jordan Oliver coming in at 3rd, Vito Arujau coming in at 2nd, and they were this close in the fan vote and in our staff vote. And really, when you think about it, it's Logan Stieber taking it. No surprise. 4-time champ. Hard to beat that. But when you really think about it, it was one wrestling position, right? It was Jordan Oliver in on a takedown. He's got both legs. And now that would meet takedown criteria. It didn't at the time. It would now. If that had been a takedown, Jordan Oliver and Logan Stieber would be 3-time champs, both. And Jordan Oliver would be 2-0 against Logan Stieber. Had that been the rule at the time, had Jordan Oliver secured that takedown, probably we're thinking about Jordan Oliver as the top 133-pounder of the last quarter century. But that's not how it went. And that's wrestling, right? It's this close. It's not only this close to get a takedown, it's this close to win a match, an NCAA title, a Hodge Trophy, a quarter century title spot. It's Logan Stieber. He won it by this much, but in the end, 4-time champ, undeniable. It's Logan Stieber. He's your top 133-pounder of the last 25 years. Man, I cannot wait for 141. Appreciate you guys tuning into this video. Come back next week as we decide who is the best 141-pounder over the last 25 years. And between now and then, we got Final X. You got to tune in. Keep it locked on FloWrestling all summer long. Thank you guys so much for tuning in.